Hey crew, welcome back. It's Dr. Jared here at HPC Move Mob. As promised, we're doing the CrossFit Open 18.4 Retest Hack. It's going to be 5 keys to increase your capacity. Just like we said, the video from the other day from the initial test wasn't very good in terms of the handstand push-up. So really focusing on that, because what we've seen and what we've heard is that people are struggling a little bit with this new standard, and it's very important to understand how to get full extension, how to open up the shoulder, hips, to ensure that you're easily getting your reps instead of just barely missing. So we'll get into this, but before we do, again, keep it up, keep up and keep it up. Thank you so much for your shares. It's been so much fun, going back and forth with everyone on comments and just all of the dialogue that this has created. So please continue to share, please continue to comment, any questions that you might have on this, anything that I can do to get out some free information to help people increase their capability or just understand more about their body so that they can progress. Again, you're on hpcmovebob.com. Click the follow button. Provide your email and you get all this stuff right away. You don't have to go find it or hope that it meets you in your Facebook feed or Instagram, whatever. No, it'll come right to your inbox and you'll have it. So do that. Instagram at HPC Dr. J and Facebook at Health and Performance Center. Those will be good for some maybe thoracic spine extension and arm opening drills to ensure that handstand push-up top position is good, as well as the recovery for the low back and ensuring that you're able to open up your hip as well on the handstand push-up. So anterior hip openers, thoracic spine openers, those types of things that you can filter through. We also have a YouTube channel. You can just kind of search for Health and Performance Center, Dr. Jared Van An. You should be able to find a lot of stuff if you are confused or need more information, but we'll get right back into it. Key number 1, low back recovery. Hey, foam roll. Literally about 20, I wouldn't say 20 seconds, let's say 2 minutes after that workout, I found myself a foam roller and started recalibrating my lumbar spine. It's a lot of pull, a lot of being bent over in that deadlift position under high fatigue, and we just want to make sure that those spinal erectors get some blood flow, that they're able to flush out any gook that's in there, for lack of a better term, but then also to re-extend the lumbar spine into its normal lordosis. Not hyperextend, mind you. You've been probably pulled a little bit into flexion at the thoracolumbar junction, and you're a little bit stressed and strained through that entire lumbar spine. This foam roll drill will definitely help. We'll go ahead and take a peek at it right here. As you see, I'm just going to the thoracolumbar junction. I'm just starting to mash through there a little bit, just kind of driving some blood flow into that area, but that's a lot where we'll crown in that deadlift. There's a little trick that I haven't shown. It's just a little bit of rotation. Rotation is like extension. So if you're extending and you're rotating, it's like double extension. Isn't that convenient? And after a deadlift workout like we just did, our body is going to need this. It might not love it, so don't get sketchy in there, but you're definitely going to find some stuff that's pretty creaky, and we need to open that up again. Here, I'm getting my head and my shoulders down. I'm really just trying to breathe my hips down, but you can see I'm pushing down on my rib cage there to keep everything integrated. Again, doing a little bit more rotation, but from the pelvis this time to, again, extend through that whole system and even open up the lateral slings of our body or the side parts of our body. I'm going down every, inch or so, going through a couple of reps. Is there an exact perfect way? Probably, but it doesn't have to be perfect for you guys to be getting some good relaxation and recalibration with this. Now, you can continue watching, but we'll talk about anterior hip mobility. So anything, mashing that lower abdomen, opening up the quads or the psoas or anything that allows you to open things up on the front part of your body, couch stretch, Samson stretch, quad stretch. It seems kind of silly to think, well, doc, it's my back that's a little bit sore. It's my, in between my shoulder blades. And it's like, yeah, but if you think about the deadlift, you've just been mashing your body into that tight hip position and barely getting back to neutral. Being able to open up through the front part of the hip so you can regain full extension through your system, really opening up the quads, the psoas, the hip flexors, the lower abdomen, just making sure that everything gets opened up, really relieves any discomfort if you feel a little bit pinchy or compressing, a little bit of compression in that low back. Being able to mash out through the front part of your body is definitely going to help in correlation with this foam rolling. Now we'll go on to breathing deadlift practice. All right. So key number 2 is, hey, we talked about this. How do we brace? How do we breathe? And how do we move all independently of each other? And so we said we'd show this in the hack, and this is exactly what I'm going to do. You're going to see that I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to give myself some cues with my hands, whether that's with my breathing or whether that's with my bracing. It's just trying to say, hey, I have to stay solid through my spine. I have to be able to take super massive deep breaths, and I have to be able to go through deadlifts and have them all separated from each other. So you can't hear me breathing, but as I do this and as I set it up, I'm probably taking, 5 reps per breathing pattern. So it might take 2 reps for me to get all of my breath in, and it might take 2 or 3 more reps to get all of my air out as I'm starting to go through this pattern. But it just allows me to start working the deadlift pattern. Now I'll use my hands to really start sequencing that. But if I can start taking these super massive deep breaths, I can stay tight and stable from butt to gut and from belly to blade as I'm going through this movement pattern, and they're all separated. Man, that is something to practice now for this workout, but really for all workouts. So you're not dependent on your breathing for your stability. You can stabilize totally independently because your breathing, it has nothing to do with whether you're stable or not, or it shouldn't. And a lot of people really, really struggle with that. So number 2, this is something that I think everyone should do for this workout, but just about any workout. This skill is absolutely critical for being able to work at high levels of exertion, but then also just to kind of subconsciously own this. So no matter what you're doing, if it's 3 a.m. and you got to go take care of your infant baby that's crying or whatever it is, you're able to kind of just go through this natural patterning without herniating a disc in the middle of the night. I mean, we think about this. Whoa, Dr. Jared, we're talking about the CrossFit Open. Yeah, this is all connected, guys. It's all connected. We're getting good at high intensity life so we can be good at all life. And this key number 2, man, if you learn how to do this, it opens up a portal to a lot of health, longevity, and stability and safety. All right, now to key number 3, the big gorilla in the room, handstand push-up top position. Now, for whatever reason, last year, years before, and definitely with this year, the handstand push-up standard as far as getting the heels above that line, whether it's measured whatever way, has always been a little bit of a challenge for everyone. So with this, we are really going to focus on opening through the shoulders, opening through the hips, being able to do that scaption, or really being able to press your body as tall as it can, really doing whatever it takes to get as tall as possible to get your reps. The idea here is we want to be in green, where you see my arms are locked out to the shoulder. My torso is stable. It's neutral, meaning I'm not hyperextended. You'll see so much broken spine posture a lot of times in handstand work that throughout the year, hey, yeah, I guess we'll give you those reps, but when it comes to actually getting full extension at the top, we find real quickly that it's not good enough, or it's just we have to make some quick modifications, some quick awareness points to top off the movement so we can get our reps and move on. So for a lot of you, especially people who are doing really well in terms of regionals or on the bubble, and then just for everyone, just learning how to lock out their reps and make sure they get to a solid top position of all their movements, this will help out. So we'll get right into this. We'll see I'm going to pop up, really going to lock in glutes and abs, butt and gut, belly and blades, trying to get as tall as I can, get those heels going there. Now we'll see there's that one right there. And even we're not open through the shoulder. We're a little bit bent through the elbow. We're really hyperextended through the back. If we have a little bit of knee bend, man, I lose a lot of distance. Whereas if I lock everything out, do a scaption, go to those heels, you see the difference in the heights, and it's pretty massive there. So again, being able to drive your chest through to open up fully through your shoulder, drive your hips through to fully open up the hip, get nice and spine neutral, meaning we got butt to gut, we got belly to blades to really stabilize that standing position. Yes, it is a standing position, just like you were on your feet, but now you're on your hands. The other thing is not to get your hands too far away from the wall. We do need to find this good bottom position, but we want to be as close to the wall as possible, because anything as far as hand width, side to side, is going to decrease your overall height, and hands as far as how far they are away from the wall is going to reduce the overall height. So making sure that your hands don't get too wide, that your hands don't get too far away from the wall, but you're still able to make that nice little tripod. And by that, I mean where my head is at to where my hands are at. If we make a triangle there, it's a nice little tripod, and it's easy for me to be able to get my kip going, take deep breaths, generate force, but also maintain this nice, solid, stable position right there, which will take us into the next point. Key number 4 is a solid bottom position for the handstand push-up. We definitely want to avoid low back flexion to extension. That's definitely something in the deadlift that we have to pay attention to, but we don't necessarily perceive it as much in this handstand work, but it's probably even more prevalent where we're kind of whiplashing our back over and over again. And when we come down, our low back spinal erectors are freaking out, and then we have to go deadlift again. Now, we need to be finding neutral spinal postures in both the top position, as you see there in blue, that this line right here is what we want to have, this nice solid position that's belly or butt, gut, or butt to belly, belly to blades. Everything is nice and solid and stable. But the same thing is true in this bottom position. I'm not flexed here, and I'm not hyperextended there, which is what you'll see a lot. Again, belly to blades, breathe, and find some good rest in this position. We'll talk about that a little bit more here in a moment. But this is where we can be fast, but in that bottom position, get that quick little rest so that we're able to do these relatively unbroken, or to minimize how many times we break it up. So we'll look at this real quick. We'll see how drop down to there. I'm taking more time just kind of showing how to find that bottom position, and then how to ensure that you're hitting the top position. I don't want to go too crazy with my legs. I do want to bring them down as my head's hitting, just so I'm not crushing my neck. But that's a good way of showing how do I get from position A to position B relatively easily. And you need to practice that. If that was a struggle, make sure you're practicing it, you're filming it, you're having somebody watch it, you're getting feedback, so you're not, gosh, I hope this goes well. You want to have an inch, with your heels above that line when you start, because if you only have an inch at the beginning, man, you're really going to be cutting it at the end when it's tough to get to captions. It's tough to press yourself up. You get a little bit sloppy here and there. You start hyperextending slightly. We just want to make sure we have as much buffer room as possible. So make sure that bottom position is good. Again, nice, solid, stable spine to solid, stable spine, getting long, staying tight, breathing. All of these things are going to be so important for these handstand push-ups. Now we'll get into the last point. Key number 5 is pacing. Deadlift, quick bits and fast reps. I think 9-7-5, 7-5-3, and then 4-3-2 or 5-4, whatever you like for you particularly, but having probably 2 to 3 break points in that deadlift that are really fast, but just reduce the time under tension and allow you to save your grip for later need. If you get through the handstand push-ups, if you get through Diane, you're not going to want to be dying going to that 315 deadlift, because it's a beast. With the handstand push-ups, get your quick reps. We want these to be quick. We want you to practice them so you can bang, bang, bang. That's what I took, a very slow and methodical approach. Didn't have a single no rep. Had one where I was very close on the last set of 9, but I think I'm going to press the envelope. I had a decent score for me. I'm going to press the envelope a little bit more on Diane. I'm going to get Diane done in decent time, probably a little bit faster. I think mine's just under 4 minutes. With this, I was done at about that 4:35 range. I want to be done around maybe the 4:10 range. So I'm gonna hit this with some speed, just so I have a little bit more time to get through the deadlifts, be able to go through the handstand walk, and probably piece through some more of the deadlifts for me personally. But the idea is to be pretty darn fast with quick bits of rest in the deadlift, breathe but still be fast through our handstand push-ups, through that practice work. Get done with Diane almost as fast as you would regularly do it, but maybe adding 2 to 3% of whatever your time is, 10, 15, 20 seconds, and then stay steady from there and crush it out. Guys, hopefully that helps.